What's going on, filmmakers? Zach here. In this video, we're talking about the auditory slam cut or smash cut, how to create an effect that goes like this. Basically taking you from one scene to the next using an auditory cue. Let's hop into today's video. I'm Zach here from PremiumBeat. Let's do it. Essentially, there's three different ways to achieve this effect. You can go from a sound to silence, silence to a sound, or you can do a sound to a sound. All three work, but you're using an auditory hard hit cut to jump between the two. So the first transition we're gonna do is silence to a sound. And I'm gonna be using an example from my latest short film, I Speak With No Voice, where essentially it's a horror film, so it's just fake blood and whatnot. But essentially we're gonna be using the sound from the dog whimpering into a cut scene of the person digging a hole. Well, this works for a horror film because the cut actually works as a shock. I want the audience to really dive into the swell of the noise of the dog whimpering. And then what we'll do is a hard cut sound of a bunch of different layered sounds as she takes a dig into the dirt, which is essentially the sound effect of dirt, a thunder crackle, a hard crack of something breaking, and a few other things to really shock the audience. And therefore, we're going from a very low decibel level to something really harsh and cracks us into that next bit. We could also do sound to sound or loud to loud, where essentially we take the sound of an overhead of nature, and the camera's kind of flying through here, and then what we're gonna do is do a hard cut sound on the wave splashing of this guy walking in the water. And it's not anything intense, it's not anything scary in the element of a horror film, and this could be something that could blend its way into a drama, a comedy, a sci-fi, you name it. And then the next effect that we'll tinker with is a sound, so something pretty thick in the decibel levels to just sort of silence. And that creates its own feeling as well. And essentially what you're doing in your editing software is playing with sound effects. Usually I don't use this with raw, real audio, mostly because I kind of lose control. So what I'll do is I'll go onto my sound effects website of choice and I'll download a few sounds that I think would work parallel with the visuals. So for example, I'll take the sounds that work with the scene, layer them in a few times into the scene prior, and then have some sort of hard cut into the next one. And essentially, if you're either doing a sound to sound, a sound to silence, or a silence to a sound, those are going to be your pre-cut or your post-cut effects. Now, along with the three different cuts you can do, there are also three key elements to focus on. This first one is visual imagery. You want to make sure that whatever audio you're cutting with matches with the visuals. You're not going to just do some hard cut sound that doesn't match it. For example, my short film, Freelancer, I do a hard cut into a raining scene, and it really takes the audience and switches them into the environments, which I think works really well. As a director, try and build an environment that you can edit to, and it makes the movie also just all of a sudden start to compose together in an amazing composition. So in this scene, I have basically the slam of a door, which I was originally gonna cut on, but then I left it a little bit silent in the movie, and then I did a hard cut to the rain splashing onto the hood of the car. We go from silence to sound, which cuts us into this environment really quickly and draws the audience's attention. But I made sure that when we were shooting, I had a sound to cut to, which was the rain hitting the metal inside the car. And then we also do a sound to silence, where essentially we go from the loud swell of the rain splashing on top of the car and then cut into the interior environment, which is a lot quieter, which also acts as its own sort of auditory slam.
It's been a pleasure working with you. Don't mind answering.
These effects are sprinkled across some of your favorite movies and favorite TV shows. Everything from Stranger Things to whatever you're watching right now, they use them all the time. And if you're able to have this technique in your back pocket as a director, an editor, cinematographer, shooter, you're able to elevate a lot of your productions because you're thinking ahead into the editing suite. And by using these things, not only do they help the practice of editing, but they also help the practice of shooting, of what props you'll be using to cut from scene to scene. So anyways, guys, hopefully this helped you out a lot with your video. I think auditory hard cuts, slam cuts, smash cuts, I don't really know the proper term where this belongs, but they are super duper valuable. They're seen across cinema, and there's no clever plugin that you throw in. There's no post-production magic. It's really just the simple cut that goes from A to B. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for tuning in. You guys can take a look at the article that I've written in the description below on PremiumBeat's blog, The Beat, and give that a gander. Check out that all through there. It's a rewrite-up of everything I've said, so don't worry. And that's about it. Hopefully you guys make something great, and happy shootings. Keep making some great stuff. I'll see you guys in another PremiumBeat video.